So did you watch it? Did you watch the debate? Did you see any? So, I've been around for a while. Have you ever witnessed anything that was more coordinated than you did last night? Right? So it's pretty obvious that the moderators coordinated what they were going to do, right? And then Harris was composed, and she made a lot of statements, and they didn't ask her about it. If you keep saying, I have a plan, well, what's your plan? What's the plan? So it was so it was so obvious about the coordination that that's all that people are talking about. Pretty well coordinated. Megyn Kelly pointed out that the head of the news for ABC is Kamala Harris, one of Kamala Harris' best friends. Apparently, that person introduced Kamala Harris to her husband. So, who knows? But it was all out there for everyone to see, right? Look, I call it a coordinated attack, right? After what I heard last night, the coordination, and you're going to say, well, there were really no winners, but we're going to clear winners, but we'll give the edge to Harris. And I'm like, wow. After what I said, you would after a well thought out coordinated attack like that, she'd be way ahead. They would know how, if Harris and them is such a clear-cut favorite, right? How is it that she's not way ahead? I don't know. I think that's the most concerning part, right? That she's just not way ahead in the polls. I don't know about polls. Who knows? But who in their right mind would cast a vote now? I mean, listen, unless you actually absolutely know for a fact this is how you're gonna vote, then knock yourself out. But it's funny, they start early voting, and that affects everyone. It's just not on the federal level, right? It affects your local races. It affects everything. That's what I think is concerning. It's not so much about the federal stuff, right? The federal elections, but you have state, you have local, you have state elections. I mean, I think going into the debate, I think most people already knew, right? They already knew who they were going to vote for. I don't think it changes anyone's minds, but it wasn't good, man. You have ABC, I try to put ABC, CBS, and NBC in the nightly news. Hey, what's up? Hi. I try to put them ahead of like the cable stuff, right? The cable stuff, the cable people. That's like I don't trust any of them because the cable news people, they come across more. They sensationalize everything, right? Cable news. On cable news, they come across, to sensationalize, it's more opinionated, right? When it comes to like CBS, ABC, and stuff, you hope to get better, right? You hope to get better. And I just think it's, you see how politics has Politics has infiltrated everything. Politics, politicians have infiltrated everything. They've infiltrated the news, everything, right? People were talking about ABC, and it was pretty obvious, right? It was pretty obvious. It was like three against one. And I didn't know this, but I didn't know that the head of ABC News was Kamala Harris's good friend, right? No, man. I wear thin shirts because I live in Florida. I wear Reeboks, right? They're golf shirts. And in Florida, it's too. You got to wear thin stuff. You can't wear cotton in Florida, especially with the humidity, unless it's thin cotton. But no, it was pretty obvious. They made it so obvious that that's what people were talking about, right? People were talking about. But I think when you're the moderators, you don't want to be the news, right? You don't want to be the news. You want to ask questions, let them answer, and let the fact checkers do their fact checking, right? Let the other people do it. If you're gonna try to pull that on him, then you got to pull it on her. There's a lot of things that she said that's inaccurate. It was pointed out this morning. Both of us, everyone says, if you're not a politician, you put a spin on it. You put the spin that your party wants you to put on it, right? But I think a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump, I think they kind of had expected something like this, but they didn't, but I don't think they expected it to be so obvious. Are you a lib or are you a Republican? I'm an independent. I've been a registered independent for 20 years, or even more. Right? I don't. I'll tell you my why I've been a registered. No, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to give you a scenario, right? So many years ago, I was thinking about getting into politics, and it depending whatever political party you want to join, in order to officially join, there's people who register right, at certain parties. There's people that register. Then there's people who get involved in the political parties. And to go that far, they make you sign a piece of paper, right? You got to sign a piece of paper where you want to get heavily involved, that says no matter what happens, you got to vote for the party, right? Party first. So I was like, well, what happens if that person is not good? What's going to happen if that person's not good? They're like, well, it doesn't matter. You have to vote for him anyway. Let me see. Scooby, who cares? Give your opinion. Kamala Harris in 24. What's funny is I was laughing. Kamala Harris said, "Hey, I'm endorsed by Liz Cheney, and over 200 Republicans." And I kind of snickered. I went, "Yeah, same thing I heard Hillary Clinton say." And how'd that turn out? That didn't turn out too good either, right? That would have been a good comeback for Trump, right? Trump should have said, "Yeah, go ahead, take those endorsements. Ask Hillary Clinton how that worked out for her." That would have been pretty funny. What's funny about Harris, right? what's funny about Harris is what's hysterical is that remember 2020? Is it 2020? Yeah. She was running for president. And she was the first one that got knocked off the stage, right? She had to resign. She went after Biden. They got rid of her. Her own party got rid of her. And now, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Kind of weird. Listen, Trump is Trump, right? Everyone knows what you're getting with Trump. So, don't matter, you know. Let's see, what do we got? Casio's in timeout. Spamming. I don't get it. I'm looking at the stuff. Isn't it crazy how politics sparks crazy stuff in people? What's funny is I'm not even doing whatever this is doing, putting people in timeout and all that stuff. I'm not even doing it. Must be something with the program that they automatically sense that, you know, do that stuff. Sleepy Casio, please refrain. I don't get it. Not me. I blame the I blame the parents. I'm not in timeout, homie. All right, good. Like I said, guys. Yes, you are, buddy. But I've always said, you know, I think Trump's best line the whole debate was when he said, "I was shot in the head or shot in the ear because of your rhetoric," and I gotta give him that one, right? But that's the real deal, right? The rhetoric, make people afraid of it, then tell them who's to blame for it. Many men we stand for, huh? What is it about politics that makes people like freak out? Let me ask you guys. Depending on who gets elected, right? Whether it's Harris or Trump, what's he gonna do for you? That's better. What's he gonna do for you? I don't know. Biden's been in office for 3.5 years. He didn't do nothing for me. Nothing. I make too much money to get any of the stuff, or any of the rebates, or whatever it is. I make too much money to qualify for any of that. And the only thing I got out of Trump's presidency, I mean, we had lower costs, right? We had lower costs in gas. I mean, you can't. I did some research on that, right? Since 2020, the consumer price index is up 20%, over 20%, right? They go, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have had historic wage growth. Yeah, but you've also had historic inflation that outpaces the wages, right? There's like a disconnect. There's a big disconnect between what politicians say is the greatest thing going. You know, we have a great economy. Biden's economics are working, but the people out there in the real world are saying that the economy sucks. So there's such a disconnect? You know, and from a lot of the economists, there's like a lot of skepticism. A lot of skepticism on what's going to happen in the next few months, right? Like people are, they're, you know, they're saying that they're going to lower interest rates. So if they have to lower interest rates, right, that means that the economy's tanking. That's the reason why they're doing it, right? The reason why they're going to lower rates is because the economy's tanking. So, what I like to have heard, if Kamala Harris says, "I have a plan, I have a plan, I have a plan," well, what's the plan? Well, it's price gouging. It ain't price gouging. Anyone who believes that, it's not price gouging. It's not price gouging. Nah, the country's never going to be done, right? The country's been through worse, and the country always comes out ahead. I mean, I always say to my dad, right? My dad's a lot older. My dad's 80 years old, and I go, well, you know, people got to tone down rhetoric, and he says to me, it's nothing. This is nothing compared to what was going on during the Vietnam era, and people were like, it was like crazy. He said, so we'll see. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. Listen, gas is already expensive. All you got to do, if you do research, right? I had a few weeks ago. Prices are up double digits since 2020. Everything is up double digits, right? I'll give you a statistic, and you can do your own research. You go to the Border Patrol. Go to the Border Patrol website, okay? Go to the Border website and look up how many people have crossed the southern border. The statistics are right there. Those are government statistics. Under Trump, there was 2.9 million encounters in 4 years. 2.9 million encounters at the southern border. Under Biden, under Biden, it's been 3.5, 3.75 years. Over 10 million. Over 10 million. Can't run from that, right? And no one ever said boo about all that, right? When the governor of Texas and those other states were all complaining about it, they were called racist. They were called everything in the under the sun. So they put people on buses and sent them to New York and sent them to Chicago. The governor started raising hell, and then all of a sudden, something had to be done, right? That's what's funny. Listen, you could call it an invasion. They'll call you racist. But when 10 million people come across the border in 4 years and you don't do anything about it, you're either you're complicit now, right? You are complicit. Listen, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab something. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. I'm back. I ordered a cup of coffee. It's been sitting there for a few minutes. Yeah, I'm in a minivan. That's what happens. That's what happens. I had a Mustang GT 5.0. Years. Got married. Now, got a freaking minivan. That's what life. That's what happens. George Bush was in the past. Yeah. Listen, presidents come and go. Biden comes in. Listen, I've been through a bunch of presidents. I went through Nixon, Ford, Carter, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump. I've been through a bunch. We're still here, man. It don't matter. We're still here. What's up, Denise? Listen, you can't, when you make a discussion, you can't make it personal, right? You can't make it personal. The problem with Harris and the problem with Trump is when you listen to them both talk, just the way their delivery of what they're talking about is freaking annoying. It's annoying. I remember, wasn't it too long ago? It's on YouTube, right? Where Kamala Harris, they did a skit about Kamala Harris and all the facial expressions that she does, and you saw it last night, right? All the shaking her head, terrible. Let's see what's going on. Prove me wrong, I dare you, on this very date to be exact. Man, people get crazy, man. I'm not in timeout. Trump 24, where you at, man? Florida likes Harris. I've said it. So let's say we elect Harris. Let's say the country elects Harris. Tell me, what is she going to do for you? What is she going to do for you? What do you think she's going to do? What is she going to do differently to what Biden's doing right now? Nothing. Not going to do anything different. Right? It's the same party. Same party. If Trump gets in office, you think he's going to do stuff different? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what they're afraid of, right? It's the same rhetoric we heard 4 years ago. A threat to democracy and this and that. He's already been the president once and we have no problems. Right? I had no problems. Where else is see people jump? A zebra doesn't change his spots. No. Listen, when it comes to politics, party over person. That's how they look at it. Joe Biden got ran out of office by his own party because they knew he wasn't going to win. The donors cut off the party from the money, and they had to go to him and tell him, listen, you got to go. Right? And then they celebrate. Well, he did the great thing. He was courageous. No, didn't do shit. Didn't do crap. Sorry. Beep, beep. He didn't do anything. Did anything courageous. He didn't want to go anywhere. They cut off the money. The party said you got to go. Right? And even when he wasn't going to, even when he was, after the debate, disaster by Biden, Harris wasn't even, when they were talking about, if you watch CNN and MSNBC and places like that, she wasn't even the front runner to be. She wasn't even in the conversation, right? But the party knew, and I knew, there was no way, there was absolutely no way that they could pass her over. So they had to rally behind her, right? The same thing as Hillary Clinton, man. She's a woman. She's a minority. She's this, she's that, right? But they couldn't pass her over. They had to rally behind her, right? Which is all right. I'm a policy person, man. I'm a policy person. Who do you want? Is someone going to wave a magic wand? Prices are going to come down from things go up? I think there's no doubt about that. Biden's policies made everything go up. Everything went up 20%. They want that transition to happen to wind and solar and alternative, electric cars, right? So they're trying to cut off the gas. No, prices ain't going down. People don't get $34 trillion in debt, man. That's the only way, right? The only way to get out of debt. It takes Congress. Nobody. It would be painful, very painful to get out of debt. Very painful. Can you imagine? So it's our economy, right? The economy and how everything is going, it's a lie. It's a lie, right? Because we're living off of our credit cards. Not living within our means. Sorry. I'm about to go to work and people have to. I wouldn't vote for someone just because they're a woman or because they're a man or because this was a minority or this was Chinese or this whatever. I ain't voting for people because of that. I'm voting for your policies. Harris and Biden have been in charge for 4 years, right? If you're happy with it, if you're happy the way it's going, then that's who you vote for. If you're not happy with it, then your alternative is Trump. That's what it is. That's your choices. That's your choices. How can people, if you look at all the polling, right? If you look at all the polling, they over 30% of the people polled say the country's headed in the right direction. So how can you vote for the people that are in office still? I don't make any sense. Are you happy with Congress? They're like in the toilet. 20% approval rating. All right. The direction of the country. 30-something% approval. So Congress is down like 20, is in the 20s. And they approve of Congress. And then 30% approval rating for the direction of Congress. The direction of the country. And everyone wants to vote for the same people who are in charge now? I don't know. It don't sound right. Sorry. But I'm about to roll into work here in a minute. I won't have time to eat. But I've always said that, right? You've had these same people in office for 20, 30 years, right? 2 terms, 3 terms, 10 terms in office. But they have a 20% approval rating. Congress. Why do we keep voting for the same people? Why do we keep voting for the same people? I don't know. Don't make any sense. Will it make any sense that we continue to vote for the same people? But that's what we do. We vote for the same people over and over. And we expect different results. Oh, well. Maybe, I always say maybe we'll figure it out at some point. But we don't. We continue to vote for the same people. All right, well, I'm about to pull into work. I gotta get my act together. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking. Thanks for sharing. I'm sorry I was eating while I was driving, but I had to. Alright, man. Y'all take it easy. I'll be back on later. We'll rant some more. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.